English football is packed with fierce rivalries and legendary derbies, some historic, some underrated, but all filled with passion. From the oldest matchups to the most intense clashes, this is the story of football derbies in England. Naturally, it started with the world's first club, Sheffield FC, taking on their rivals Hallam FC. Founded in 1857, Sheffield FC, who don't actually play in Sheffield, call the home of football ground in Anfield their home. Meanwhile, Hallam FC, established in 1860, actually do play in Sheffield, at Sandygate, the world's oldest football ground. While there's not much info available on the derby, it's generally considered the oldest in the world, with their first meeting in 1860 ending in a 2-0 win for Sheffield FC. At their last meeting to date, Hallam FC took a 2-1 win against their 164-year-long rivals. These teams also played the first ever football match at Bramall Lane, home to Sheffield United and the oldest still in use professional football stadium in the world. And it's here that one of England's fiercest rivalries takes place, the Steel City Derby between Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday. It's a fixture filled with history, drama and plenty of bad blood, right up there with the biggest derbies in the country. Their first official meeting ended in a 2-1 win for United at Wednesday's former ground Olive Grove. The most recent clash saw United win 1-0 at Hillsborough, completing a Sheffield Derby double for the 24-25 season, the Blades' first in nearly 20 years. In total, they've faced off 146 times. United have won 51, Wednesday 48 and 47 have ended in a draw. The highest scoring game being a chaotic 7-3 win for United in 1951 in front of over 52,000 fans at Bramall Lane. Wednesday wouldn't see a loss this big again until Chancery bought the club in 2015. Another unforgettable chapter in this rivalry came on Boxing Day in 1979, a match now known as the Boxing Day Massacre. Sheffield United, sitting at the top of the league, travelled to Hillsborough to face a Wednesday side in fourth. What followed was a 4-1 win for Wednesday in front of nearly 50,000 fans. That season, Wednesday went on to earn promotion, while United were left with a day that fans would rather forget. For decades, the debate has raged on. Is Sheffield red or blue? And depending on who you ask, you'll get a very different answer. Now 170 miles south, another fierce rivalry has played on for generations. The South Coast Derby, between Southampton and Portsmouth. Beyond football, these cities share a long and complex history. Portsmouth is the home of the Royal Navy, while Southampton has one of Europe's largest docks, serving as the busiest cruise turnaround port on the continent. It was also from here that the Titanic set sail on its maiden voyage. Southampton FC, originally founded as St Mary's Young Men's Association FC, have spent most of their history in England's top flight. Nicknamed the Saints, they play at St Mary's Stadium and hold the unfortunate distinction of being the only club in Premier League history to lose 9-0 twice. At the moment, they're sitting on just 9 points in the league, on track to becoming the worst ever performing team in the Premier League. Meanwhile, down the M27, Portsmouth FC call Fratton Park home. Portsmouth itself is famous for, well, a big pointless tower and not much else, but when it comes to football, they've got bragging rights over their rivals with 4 major honours compared to Southampton's 1. Head to head though, Southampton have had the upper hand. Out of 71 meetings, the Saints have won 35, Portsmouth 21 with 15 draws. Their first ever match was on September the 11th, 1920, ending in a 5-1 Southampton win at the Dell. Portsmouth fans will argue that that's the worst thing to ever happen on that day. Their most recent clash, a 4-0 Southampton victory in the 2019 Carabao Cup, proving that while Portsmouth may have more silverware, Southampton still knows how to dominate when it matters. On the topic of big rivalries, we'll take our attention now to North London. The North London Derby is one of the fiercest rivalries in English football. It also holds a Premier League record for the most penalties awarded. Harry Kane, Spurs' all-time top scorer in the fixture, has netted 14 goals against Arsenal, half of them from the penalty spot. Despite being one of the biggest clubs in the area, Arsenal weren't actually founded in North London. They began life in 1889 as Dials Square in Woolwich, before moving north in 1913, something Spurs fans still haven't forgiven them for. Spurs, founded in 1882, have their own claims to history. In 1901, they became the first non-league club to win the FA Cup. In 1963, they became the first British club to win the European trophy, but cost their biggest achievement to date, winning the Audi Cup in 2019. Head-to-head, Arsenal and Spurs have faced off 197 times. Arsenal have the edge with 84 wins, while Tottenham have 61, with 52 ending in a draw. One of the most memorable meetings came in April 2017, the final North London derby at Hart Lane, where Spurs secured a 2-0 win, thanks to goals from Harry Kane and Dele Alli. Meanwhile, Arsenal fans will never forget 2012 when they humiliated Spurs fans with back-to-back 5-2 wins. Theo Walcott was the only player to score in both games alongside club legends like Robin van Persie, Oliver Giroud and Tottenham's own Gareth Bale. Moving just north of London, we turn our attention to one of the most underrated rivalries in English football, the Beds-Herts Derby. Contested between Watford and Luton Town, as the name suggests, Watford represent Hertfordshire while Luton hail from Bedfordshire. And despite not always making headlines, their hatred between these two runs deep. Watford, founded in 1881 as Watford Rovers, became Watford FC in 1898 after merging with Watford St Mary's. Originally playing in blue and white, they switched to their now iconic red and yellow in 1959, earning the nickname the Hornets. The most famous fan, Sir Elton John, who bought the club in 1976 with the dream of taking his boyhood team to the First Division. With Graham Taylor as manager, they shot up the football pyramid like a rocket, man. Luton Town, formed in 1885, play at Kenilworth Road, famous for being one of the most barbaric stadiums in the EFL, often rinsed for their away and being in someone's back garden. Playing in orange, they're on track to be the first ever team in English football history to be relegated in the same kit twice. When Luton fans aren't crying at Coldplay for not changing the song yellow to orange, they get to enjoy some of the worst football in the EFL this season, currently 23rd in the Championship. In 2008, Luton were hit with a record-breaking 30-point deduction, completing a spectacular fall from the Championship to non-league. They spent 5 years there before clawing their way back to the EFL in 2014, but what followed was nothing short of remarkable. They climbed all the way up to the Premier League in just 9 seasons. Historically, Luton have had the upper hand with 56 wins to Watford's 39, while 29 matches have ended in a draw. Going back to London, the Manchester Derby, between City and United. Man United, founded in 1878 as Newton Heath, became Manchester United in 1902 and have since built a legacy as one of the biggest clubs in world football. With a record 20 league titles, 12 FA Cups and 3 Champions League trophies, their history is packed with silverware, legends and, more recently, a whole lot of Glazers out protests. On the other side, Man City, founded in 1880 as St Mark's, spent much of their history playing second fiddle to their neighbours. That is until 2008 when Sheikh Mansour arrived, injected billions into the club and flipped the script entirely. Since then, City have dominated English football, winning multiple league titles, domestic cups and finally in 2023 their first ever Champions League, completing the treble and leaving United fans wondering if karma really does exist. Historically, the rivalry was one-sided, with United holding the upper hand for decades, but in recent years City have turned the tide with 13 derby wins since Pep Guardiola took charge in 2016. One of the most infamous clashes came in 2011 when City humiliated United 6-1 at Old Trafford, with Mario Balotelli revealing his now iconic "Why Always Me" shirt. Head to head, the clubs have faced off 191 times, with United winning 78, City winning 61 and 52 games ending in a draw. Manchester has always been red, or so United fans claim, but if the past decade has proved anything, it's that City have no plans of stepping aside anytime soon. Going to the West Coast, the Merseyside Derby between Liverpool and Everton is one of the most passionate and historic rivalries in English football. The rivalry dates back to 1892 when a rent dispute led to Everton leaving Anfield and moving to Goodison Park, giving birth to one of football's fiercest competitions. Since then, the two clubs have gone head-to-head 245 times, with Liverpool winning 99, Everton taking 68 and 78, ending in a draw. Liverpool have scored 345 goals in the fixture, while Everton have managed 271, which, to be fair, isn't far off how many Darwin Núñez has missed this season. This season also saw the final Merseyside Derby at Goodison Park, as Everton prepares to move to a brand new stadium. It's a big change, and considering they've barely won at home for the past 5 years, maybe they just fancied a fresh start. And then there's Trent Alexander-Arnold, a local lad, a Liverpool vice-captain, and if certain pundits are to be believed, Real Madrid's next right-back. After years of Everton fans giving him grief at Goodison, maybe he's realised that there's easier ways to win trophies than getting outpaced by Dwight McNeil. No matter where it's played, this derby always delivers, whether it's goals, controversy or just Jordan Pickford swinging at thin air. Now obviously there is a lot more derbies filled with history, passion and plenty of shithousery, but unfortunately I don't have time to cover them in this video. If you think I've missed one, let me know in the comments. And if you support one of these teams, condolences. Oh, and YouTube thinks you might like this video, so why not see if they're right.